Okay, so actually, quickly before we go into the service awards, in the middle of all this celebration, I wanted to take a quick minute to acknowledge Medic's leadership in this 10 years of work that we've had. So, particularly, I'll talk a little bit about Keith, and I think he's talked a lot about everybody, and I think he deserves a moment too. So, when I applied for this job back in 2019, it like checked every box of a job I was looking for. It was like QI work, value-based care, everything that I wanted, except um, I noticed that it reported to a physician. Um, and so I spent the first 15 years of my career working in the OR with neurosurgeons, orthopedic spine surgeons, and I was a little scared. Not all stereotypes are true, but they probably start somewhere. So it made me a little nervous, honestly, to apply for this job. But then, from the first interview with Keith and Michelle, they were kind, open, genuinely interested in what I thought, and just really like created a great environment for to work. And I really appreciate that they did that. And I can say as a project manager, the ideal job is a job where you know exactly what you're supposed to do, what the project is, but you get the freedom to figure out how to do it yourself and to manage it and to do that. And that's exactly the environment that Keith has created in this, and I definitely want to thank him for that. So that that trust and respect that he gives us is huge. And part of my job also now is that I every month go to a meeting with all the other people who are in my position for the other CQIs and see like the different leadership styles in the CQIs. And obviously I'm biased, but it's really great to have leaders who set the tone, tell us what needs to be done, have a vision, but don't just pop in for an hour meeting once a week and leave us to do all the heavy lifting. They're willing over the last year. The rest of our team can attest that we get a lot of questions in Zendesk, and a lot of them are really deep and confusing, and we don't know what. And Keith is willing to sit in a 2-hour meeting and dig through things I don't know what they're talking about, but like be patient and like figure it out and give the guidance so that we can give the best care. And I appreciate that. And another aspect to say is it's also really nice to have a boss that will jump in and do the hard things. So we had within the last little bit, we got an email from someone who's not really happy with how Medic works and had some, you know, not super pleasant things to say about some things. And Keith just said, hey, give me their phone number. I'll give them a call. And took it, and now the person's advocating for Medic. So you know, I really appreciate that, and to you know, set the tone for us and to create an environment where we all feel empowered to, I feel like if anyone who's been to like any of my calls, I always say like, this is our full-time job. Please let us help you. And like to have an environment created where we can have the vision, know what to do. The North Star, the direction is perfect, but the freedom to do everything ourselves and to do it, figure out how to get it done is something that I really appreciate. So again, thought it would be worth taking a moment to say thank you to Keith and to for everything that you've done for us over these 10 years.
You'll have another opportunity to stand. We cannot talk about Keith without talking about Michelle. When Keith and Michelle hatched the idea that is Medic, they were trailblazers, not just in creating this great registry and this learning health collaborative within the discipline of emergency medicine, but especially in their unequivocal commitment to including the care of children as a part of our work. They were the first in the 20+ year history of the CQIs to include children, and there is no greater advocate for the care of children than Michelle Nypaver. Within the coordinating center, we have been the lucky recipients of Michelle's wisdom over the years, and this has at times come in the form of a few Michelle-isms that we refer to fondly to this day. One has particularly stuck with me that she actually shared with you all last fall at her last collaborative-wide meeting as a medic director, and that is, children are the canaries in the coal mine, and we are their voice. Time and again, I have witnessed Michelle go to bat for our children's initiatives to a variety of stakeholders, making the case for why prioritizing and investing in the care of children is critical, even if it's not the highest volume cases or the biggest ROI financially. And that leadership and commitment have resulted in some of our most significant QI improvements in the collaborative in recent years. You saw that in our chest x-ray measure, what Courtney presented on earlier. Michelle has made Medic feel like home for me, for the coordinating center staff, and I would venture for many of you. Whether personally welcoming new clinical champions to Medic, recruiting new member sites, or just hosting the coordinating center staff at her home, Michelle set the tone for a friendly and positive working environment. She also took it upon herself regularly to be a mentor and a proponent of professional development, not only for the coordinating center staff, but also for many of you, especially in her support of MOC for our PEDS physicians. Michelle left us with an incredible legacy, and it's one that we at the coordinating center, along with all of you, are very lucky to steward forward into our next 10 years. This entire setup is very unique. All of you from competing health systems working together, feeling safe here, sharing and working in the best interest of patients, it's a remarkable thing. Keith and Michelle have been absolutely foundational in creating and maintaining the culture that has allowed this work to flourish. We are extremely grateful to you both, and cheers to the next 10 years. All right. So I actually really get the fun stuff today, which is appropriate for the hype woman. Service awards. So, I think a really good indicator of when you're a part of a great thing is when people stick around. Folks don't stick around for things that they don't enjoy. And we, on the eve of our 10-year anniversary, wanted to take a moment to recognize the many of you who have stuck around with us for many, many years. So we have 3 categories. We would love to take a picture with you. We would love for you to come up and get your certificate and your award. We will ask you to go over here and take a picture to the side and then stay there because we are all going to go outside and take a big picture together. But before we get there, I want to recognize first a list of clinical champions who have been with us for 5+ years. Matt Bombard, Chris Port, please stand up and walk over here and get your, yep, there you go. Tom Shogish, Josh Van Slaters, Tom Witham, Beth Clemens, Anthony Colucci, Sarah Shackle, Jake Sinkoff, and Jake Ramsayer. All of you have been with us for 5 years or more, and we are extremely grateful that you're still here, despite the PE measure. And we're extremely grateful for that. I'm going to try and be efficient with this. I will ask you to continue moving along once they'll get you. Okay. And not just clinical champions. We have had many abstractors who have stuck it out through EHR changes, many new modules, lots of learning, big changes to our data dictionary, and a lot of work that's happened there. So Paulette Horoff, Penny Hawkins, Sarah Allison, Andrew Martin, Mitch Van Overloop, Terry Saunders, Hannah Monsma, Rachel Kramer, and Sarah Micelli. Please get up and continue over here to the side. Stand, nope, Sarah, I see you, don't sit down. Yep, there you go, thanks. Thanks, guys. Doing great. Moving along. And finally, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the administrators. So these folks, I think, are often the unsung heroes of our work. Many of you have been with us for many years. You are often the folks who have to advocate for this work to C-suite and around all over. And so we're extremely grateful for your partnership. This includes Debney Bala, Emily Narrator, Kara Heck, Kate Hubbard, Steve Maxwell, Deanna Knopp, Diane Barton, Deanna Joswiak, Steph Mullenix, Barb Mulder, Christy Young, and Stacy Bommersbach. So if you are here, please come over here for a picture. And those of you who are here and representing your sites, if this person is not here, we will send you home with your gifts for them. So while they're getting ready, please give everyone a round of applause. The next set of awards is truly a unique group of folks. Besides Keith and Michelle, is nobody else who has been here for 10 full years, apart from these folks we're about to talk about. So these are folks who have been stalwart members of our executive committee for years, who have worked on this at their hospitals, not given up, gave us their original they were part of the coalition of the willing, as Keith says, when we started with Medic. So this is truly a unique group of folks, and we are extremely indebted to Seth Krupp, Raj Arora, and Zach Sawaya. They will still be on the ballot for the executive committee in the fall, once again. And finally, we have a set of abstractors who have truly stuck it out. 10 years, you saw some of those names earlier, who have been abstracting for a very long time. Andrea Millard, Kristen Watson, Nancy Radovic, Heather Ferroni, Vita Viscosal, Nancy Fauser, and Laura McLaughlin.